Everybody talks about change like it's some magical thing that just happens if you watch the right video, read the right book, or meet the right person. That's the lie. That's the fantasy they sell you to keep you soft. Change isn't free. It isn't pretty. It isn't inspirational. Change is violent. Change is messy. It's built in silence when you're alone with your demons and you choose to go to war anyway. You want to change? Stop searching for motivation and start looking for pain. Because that's the only currency transformation accepts. You can watch motivational speeches all day. You can flood your feed with quotes and success stories. But none of that means anything if you don't get up and bleed for your next level. Motivation feels good for 10 minutes. Discipline is brutal for 10 years, but it builds something that lasts. Everyone's obsessed with feeling good. They want to be hyped up. They want a pump-up song, a coach yelling at them, someone telling them how great they are. But the second it gets quiet, the second the real fight shows up, the fight where it's you versus your excuses, they fold, they quit, because deep down they never wanted to suffer. They just wanted to feel powerful without putting in the work to earn that power. And that's the difference between those who change and those who stay stuck. The ones who change are the ones who accept that pain isn't the enemy, it's the price. You think successful people have some secret? They don't. They just kept going when everyone else stopped. They showed up when they were tired, when they were broken, when no one was clapping for them. They trained in the dark with no recognition, no applause, no social media. You know what they had? Suffering. They had failure. They had silence. They had doubt. But they moved anyway. They moved with their pain, not away from it. That's where strength is born, in the chaos. In the heartbreak, in the self-hate, in the humiliation of not being good enough and choosing to keep showing up until you are. People ask how to stay motivated. That question exposes the problem. If you need motivation to keep going, you already lost. You're relying on a feeling that comes and goes. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't care about how tired you are, how discouraged you are, how unfair your life is. Discipline shows up and executes. No matter what. That's what real change demands. No negotiations. No soft talk. No maybe tomorrow. Change wants blood. Change wants sacrifice. Change wants every weak part of you to die. And it's going to test you over and over until you either give in or become the kind of person who can take the hit and keep standing. Nobody wants to hear the truth. They want to hear it's going to be okay, but it's not going to be okay if you don't change. If you keep lying to yourself, making excuses, living soft, you're going to stay exactly where you are. You can't outrun your habits. You can't hide from the pain you refuse to face. It'll be waiting for you every morning when you wake up. The only way to kill it is to suffer through it. You've got to become someone new. That doesn't happen through hype. That happens through hell, through cold mornings, long nights, sore muscles, cracked hands, lost friends, broken pride. That's the cost. You want results without pain. You're chasing a fantasy. You want to actually change? Then you have to outwork the old you until he's dead. You don't get to be new without burning the old version down. That version of you that hits snooze, that version of you that skips workouts, that hides from discomfort. That's the version that has to go. Kill it, bury it, replace it with someone that gets up no matter what, that does the work when it's boring, that pushes when it hurts. That's the only way to earn real change. You don't get to be the same person with a different outcome. Change starts the minute you choose pain over comfort, suffering over ease, effort over escape, and stop expecting the world to clap for you. Nobody owes you a thing. Nobody's coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you a new life because you want it. You've got to take it. You've got to earn every inch with sweat, blood, and time. Every rep matters. Every run matters. Every early morning and every late night. It all adds up. You're either putting in deposits or you're going broke. You don't see the change day by day, and that's why most people quit. They want results in a week, but the work you do today shows up in a year. That's why this is war. This is mental warfare, and most people lose not because they aren't capable, but because they can't delay gratification long enough to let the process work. You want to change your life, then accept that no one can do it for you. You've got to carry your own weight. You've got to face your own demons. You've got to suffer through your own setbacks. Stop crying about it. Stop waiting for easier conditions. Stop looking for hacks and shortcuts. The long road is the only road. The brutal truth is the only truth. You either suffer now or suffer forever. There is no in-between. There is no escape. The pain you avoid today becomes the regret you drown in tomorrow. Face it now, own it, embrace it, make it your training ground. You think I got strong because I was born that way? No, I got strong because I was broken, because I failed, because I was tired of being average, because I got sick of my own excuses. That's where it starts, not with a goal, not with a dream, with disgust. With rock bottom, with the moment you say enough and actually mean it. That's when the change begins, that's when the grind starts, and that grind doesn't stop. It becomes who you are, you breathe it. You live it, you become the person who never gives in, who keeps going, who doesn't need motivation because pain is their fuel and suffering is their reminder that they're alive and on the right path. You want to change, then stop looking for inspiration and start creating it. With your work, with your suffering, with the way you show up when you have every reason not to. That's where change is built. Not in comfort, not in hype, but in the hell you walk through on purpose. That's where it lives, and the truth is, most people don't want it. But if you do, if you're really about it, then you better get ready to hurt. Every day, because that pain is your path. That pain is your proof. That pain is your weapon. The reason most people never change is because they've made comfort their god. They wake up and look for convenience. They look for ease. They structure their entire lives around how to avoid pain, how to avoid discomfort, how to avoid doing the hard thing. And then they cry about being stuck. They whine about not seeing progress. What they don't understand is that the very thing they're avoiding is the exact thing they need. Discomfort is the training ground. It's the fire that sharpens the blade. You avoid it, you stay dull. You stay average, you stay soft. The mind loves comfort, and if you let it run the show, you'll never become who you're supposed to be. You'll sit in the same damn place 5 years from now, blaming everything except the truth that you chose the easy road every time it was offered. The comfortable choice is always available, always. And that's the trap. The snooze button is always there. The junk food is always there. The couch is always there. The excuses are always lined up and ready to sell you the lie that it's okay to stay weak. But every time you choose that path, you lose a piece of yourself. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you dig the hole deeper. That's how lives get wasted, not through one big failure, but through thousands of small surrenders. You die slowly, comfortably, while convincing yourself that you'll rise someday. But someday doesn't come. You just get older, softer, more regretful. And then one day you look in the mirror and don't even recognize the person staring back. The enemy isn't pain, the enemy is ease. You want to become more, then you better start going toward what you fear, what makes you uncomfortable, what makes your stomach turn. If it makes you nervous, that's the path. That's the fight, and most people never fight it. They walk away, they retreat, and every time they do, they confirm to themselves that they aren't capable. You don't need more talent. You don't need more resources. You don't need better genetics. You need more courage to choose discomfort every damn day. You need to stop looking for the path of least resistance and start charging straight into the resistance. That's where you get strong. That's where you level up. Pain is a signal. It's the indicator that you've stepped into a place where growth is possible. The workout doesn't start until it hurts. The discipline doesn't kick in until your mind starts begging you to stop. That's the moment you either become something new or prove that you still belong to the old version of yourself. That moment when it sucks, that's the invitation. That's the door to a better life. But nobody wants to walk through it. They want transformation without sacrifice. They want results without friction. It doesn't work like that. The price of greatness is discomfort, not once, every single day, and discomfort doesn't just mean physical pain. It means emotional pain, mental fatigue, doing the thing that terrifies you, speaking the truth when it costs you something, letting go of the things and people that make you feel safe but hold you back. Discomfort is facing who you really are, with no filters and no lies, and then doing the work to become better. Most people avoid that confrontation. They keep the music on, the notifications coming, the distractions flowing, because silence exposes them. Stillness reveals how far they've drifted. But if you want to get back on track, if you want to become something rare, you've got to cut through all that noise and walk straight into the fire. You don't get stronger in safe places. You get stronger under pressure, under strain, under the weight of a burden you chose to carry. That's the whole point. You don't wait for pressure to find you. You seek it out. You run toward the thing that tests you, because you know on the other side of that pain is someone better, someone more dangerous, more capable, more resilient. That version of you doesn't come from comfort. He's built in the trenches, built through sweat, through failure, through repetition. Built when nobody's watching, built when quitting feels easier, but you choose to stay in the fight. That's how you win, by choosing discomfort over and over until it becomes normal, until hard things don't scare you anymore, until pain doesn't paralyze you, it fuels you. You become addicted to the challenge, not the result. You fall in love with the process, not the praise. That's when the game changes, because now you're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it because that's who you are. You become the person who eats discomfort for breakfast. You stop being afraid of pain and start hunting it down, because you know that's the only way to level up. The hardest part is the beginning, the first cold shower, the first 5 a.m. wake up, the first workout when your body says not today, the first rejection, the first failure. That's when the voice in your head is loudest. That's when it tells you to turn around, to go back. That's when most people fold, but not you, not anymore. You have to push through that first wall and build momentum. And every time you win that small battle, you get stronger, that wall becomes smaller, that voice gets quieter, and eventually, discomfort isn't something you avoid, it's something you crave, because now you understand that's where your future lies. And if you ever start to think it's too much, remember what comfort has cost you. All the times you stayed silent when you should have spoken up. All the times you skipped the gym and said tomorrow. All the dreams you shelved because they required more from you than you were willing to give. That's what comfort gives you: regret. And regret is a heavy weight to carry, far heavier than pain, far more toxic than failure. You can recover from pain, you can grow from failure, but regret, that stays with you. It poisons everything. It keeps you up at night. It reminds you that you could have been more if you had just gotten uncomfortable. Every choice you make moves you in one of two directions: comfort or discomfort. There is no neutral. There is no standing still. You're either shrinking or expanding, evolving or dissolving. The choice is always there, and the results are always yours. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you'll change later. Later becomes never. Someday becomes too late. If you want a better life, you better start choosing the hard way, every damn time, even when no one's watching, especially then, because that's when it counts. That's when you prove who you are. That's when you decide whether you stay soft or become something unbreakable.